folks, welcome to your final day of your move week. Hope you've enjoyed it so far and you're getting a lot out of the videos. So as discussed in the first video, this is the third video which is going to take you through actually building a optimal training program. So first of all, let's talk through the aims. I'd like to discuss with you what the best type of exercise is to suit what your goal might be, because I do feel like a lot of people get a little bit confused by this. How many times a week you should exercise, and then finally we move on to how to build a training program. Now, I've decided to do the training program based on a weight training program, and I will explain a little bit further as to why I've chosen to do that. So, what's my goal and what's the best exercise? So, hopefully you've gathered from the first lecture. I don't like saying lecture because then it feels like we're in school. But from the first video, you've pretty much gathered that if fat loss is your goal, exercise isn't really something you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on just simply moving more throughout the day. If you want to take that into an exercise regime, then simply walk more. Get more steps, and that will have a bigger effect on your calorie expenditure and your fat loss goal than exercise will. However, if you are somebody who would like to get a bit fitter and you would like to see some cardiovascular improvements, then any form of cardio, running, walking will even do that for you. Or any type of class in general. Classes like group training classes are generally fitness based, so things like boot camps, or any even like dance type fit classes are going to improve your cardiovascular fitness. It just depends at what level you would like to improve. Or even hybrid training like CrossFit. CrossFit is a good mixture of fitness and strength. So you're going to get fitter and get stronger at the same time, which is one of the categories as well. However, if you want to build muscle, or a lot of people will refer to this as tone up, then resistance training, i.e. lifting weights, is your most optimal protocol. And there is a certain way that this should be done to optimize results, which I'm going to go into. If you would like to build muscle and fitness at the same time, then as I've suggested, CrossFit is quite a good one. Or having more of a strength and conditioning program within the gym where you actually do resistance training and conditioning following that as well, which I'm also going to discuss. If you just want to have a bit of fun and you want to just get a little bit fitter, then group classes are ideal for this. Now, a lot of people ask me, can I build muscle and tone up in a group setting, like going to a fitness class? Will I be able to tone up? My answer is generally not optimally. I see classes, and I've got nothing against classes, but they are better to get a little bit of adherence because it's fun, it's a fun environment, you can go with your friends, you will be getting fitter, but unfortunately you do need more of a periodized program in the weight training world in order to elicit more optimal muscle growth. And classes probably haven't got the capacity to be able to do that for you because they are not individualized. So I wouldn't see group classes as something to do if you want to tone up. Not necessarily anyway. You might get a little bit of a result, but like I say, it wouldn't be optimal. Okay, so in terms of how many training sessions should I do a week, I'd never really have an answer for this because it's so individual to the person. Some people have a severe lack of time, and I appreciate that. Young families, busy careers. For me, it is about creating a habit and something that is sustainable. So if right now for you, only 1 day a week is able, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You are only able to commit to 1 day a week of training, then that's fine. Just make sure that you are consistent with that 1 day per week. And then when you are consistent with that 1 day per week, then increase to 2, then increase to 3. I would say, and because I want to answer this question because I get asked it a lot, an optimal amount of time to train a week where you are going to see the most benefit for the least amount of commitment would be 3 days a week. So there, I've said it. Now, in terms of weight training, which is what we are going to discuss here, because most people that I deal with generally say, I want to lose weight and tone up. So because most people come to me with the goal of toning up, that's why I've chosen to do a resistance training program, and because it's probably the one that needs the most thought. So if you can only dedicate 1 day a week to resistance training, then you should work your entire body. Similarly, if you can only train up to 3 days a week, you should train your full body every time. And I'm going to go into why in the next slide. If you can commit to 4 days a week, that's when you can split the body up a little bit more and do 2 upper body sessions and 2 lower. If you've got 5 days a week, then you can even add an accessory day in. And I'm going to explain what an accessory is. So, other things to consider. Volume. So volume is the number of sets times the number of reps times the number of weight that you need to do. And it's the actual volume that you need to improve over time to gain muscle and tone. So what that essentially means is, as you progress through a training program, you need to advance your way through it. So if you were to just stick to the exact same rep range on the exact same weight forever, you're never really going to improve. Now, beginners find this very, very easy. You will naturally be able to progress through a program by lifting heavier, because if you are a beginner, your changes generally are a lot quicker. You get stronger and you get noticeably stronger across X amount of months, and you will see your weights go up, and that would be an increase in volume. However, when you are a little bit more advanced, there needs to be a little bit more thought into how you can make progressions, which again I'm going to go into. Range of movement and form is a lot more important to establish before you add weight. So many people in the gym I see doing half the rep range that they should be doing, but they've loaded up X amount of kilos and they feel like that is more important. Range of movement and going through a full range of movement will get you to use more muscle fibers. It will help you with your gaining strength. It will help you with your mobility. It will help you with your ability to move through your joints through a full range of movement, which will result in generally a better training program. So it is important to establish full range of movement before you add weight. It is also a lot safer because it means you are performing the exercise properly and you are recruiting more of your muscle fibers if you're using the entirety of a contraction and a stretch. Changing up your training session every week and doing something different is suboptimal and where most people go wrong. So many people in the gym, they want to come in, they want to tone up, they want to make progress, and they will come in and do a different training session every single time. It is suboptimal, which is why classes aren't always the best thing. If you want to build muscle, you need to stick to the same training program week in, week out, and progress yourself through that training program. The more advanced you are, the longer you need to stick to the program as well. So for a beginner, you can generally get away with a 4 to 6 week program and then change things, and doing averagely 6 to 9 sets per body part per week in order to see growth. Whereas a more advanced trainer, you're going to have to stick into a program for at least 8 to 12 weeks before you change, and you need to add more volume into your sessions. You're going to need to do between 10 and 20 sets per body part per week to see changes. Okay, so how to build a program. So these are compound exercises. Now, these I guess are the most bang for your buck exercises. And the reason for that is you use multiple muscle groups when you do these specific exercises. So for instance, if you were to do a squat, not only are you working your quads, you are also engaging your hamstrings, your glutes, and your calves. So you're getting 4 muscle groups in one movement. Oh, your abductors and adductors as well. 6, essentially. 6 muscle groups in one movement means you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. You're going to be able to improve all areas of the leg just by doing one movement. So these need to make up at least sort of 70 to 80% of your program. So just to run you through some lower body compounds, there's squats, variations of squats like barbell, dumbbell, back squat, front squat, box squat, hack squat, Smith squat, tongue twisters. Leg presses, lunge variations like walking lunges, reverse lunges, barbell lunges, step-up variations, deadlifts, RDLs, sumo, single leg deadlifts, kettlebell swings, good mornings, barbell hip thrusts. That's just, I didn't want to, if I actually put out all the exercises, it would be a million pages long. I'm just giving you the essentials. And then upper body push. So a push exercise is exercises that generally work the chest, shoulders and triceps. So we've got bench press, chest press, military press, shoulder press, dips, Arnold presses, push presses and press ups. Then we've got pull, which is predominantly back and bicep muscles. So pull ups, chin ups, pull downs and then any row variations. So these exercises you get the most bang for your buck, and therefore they need to make up at least 70 to 80% of your training program. Then we've got some accessories. So accessories are essentially isolation exercises. So if you've got a particular area that you want to improve of your body, or a particular area where you want more muscle tone, or you want to be stronger, or you maybe's got an imbalance and you need to put more volume through that muscle group to balance it out. So I don't know, you might have a previous shoulder injury and you've noticed that your shoulder is slightly smaller on the left compared to the right. You might want to do certain isolation exercises on the front of the shoulder to bring that muscle back up and even yourself out, for instance. It's those little things that accessories are good for because they are isolated to a specific muscle group. But these only want to kind of make up 20 to 30% of your program. So lower exercises, for instance, leg extensions, which is specific to the quads, hamstring curl, calf raises, abductors, adductors, glute kickbacks, and then upper body, reverse fly or face pulls, lat raises, forward raises, biceps, triceps, flies and shrugs. So there's some accessories. Okay, let's put it all together. So if we were to do a 3-day full body program, because I am aware that you guys generally, when I speak to people in the group, most people generally do train 2 or 3 times a week. So I'm kind of just speaking to the masses. If you would like some further advice on how to build a 4 or 5 day program, then feel free to reach out. But this is a 3-day example. So we've got a compound exercise for legs, which is a kettlebell squat. We're going to do 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps, taking 60 to 75 seconds rest between sets. So you do 1 set of kettlebell squats, take 60 to 75 seconds, then you do a second set and so on. Now, I give all of my clients rep ranges. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. When you are a little bit more of an advanced trainer, you need to look for ways in which you can increase volume. Now, you might be stuck. You might have been training for a couple of years and you might be stuck on a 25 kilo kettlebell, unable to get that to be heavier because every time you go up you fail. However, if you work within a rep range, you can essentially work at a 25 kilo kettlebell for 12 reps and your aim would be able to eventually be able to push that rep range up to 15. Once you get 25 kilos up to 15 reps, you would then go to, I don't know, a 27 kilo kettlebell, but you would drop back down to 12 reps and then build it up to 15. Once you get to 15, you increase the weight again, and then you move back to the lower rep range. So for a hypertrophy muscle gains program, you should work within a range. So you're essentially giving yourself an opportunity to improve. So you'll see we've got a squat, we've got an overhead press, we've got a hip hinge in a barbell hip thrust, we've got a pull down and we've got a lunge, and then we've got 2 isolated exercises. So we're kind of covering all the muscle groups here because we've got a squat, which is a bit more of a push. We've got a hinge, which is a bit more of hamstrings, glutes. We've got shoulders, we've got back. And then we move into day 2. Similar, so where you had in day 1, you had a kettlebell squat. In day 2, you have a leg press, so it's replicable. In day 1, you had an overhead shoulder press. In day 2, you have a bench press for chest. So it's replicable because you're doing a leg exercise, which is kind of like a squat or a press, and then you're moving into an upper body push exercise. Then you've got a hinge. So the hinge exercise is a barbell hip thrust, and the hinge exercise in day 2 is an RDL, a Romanian deadlift. You've then got a pull in day 1, which is a wide grip lat pull down, and then you've got a pull in day 2, which is a T-bar row. Hopefully you see where I'm coming from. So each program has a similar exercise working a similar route, so a similar part of the body, but it's a variation. And then with each program there is just a couple of accessory exercises just to bring out certain areas. I think that's everything. Okay, last slide. If you wanted to do a strength and conditioning, so you want to work from a gym, you don't want to do CrossFit, and you want to improve your fitness and you want to get stronger, then you could work conditioning into your program. So instead of using your time to do accessory exercises, you could commit to 4 compound exercise and then move into a conditioning section. So for instance, like this, you've got 4 compound exercises covering 2 exercises for lower body, 2 exercises for upper body. Then you move into a conditioning section, which is a circuit of skier, kettlebell swing and slam ball. You're going to repeat the circuit 3 to 5 times, taking 75 seconds rest between each set, and you keep repeating over. So that would be how you would do a strength and a conditioning section. Hope you've enjoyed this week. Sorry that these videos are quite long. There's just quite a lot to go through, and I talk a lot, as you can tell. Next week we will be moving into the empowered section. Stay strong, guys. Keep up with your nutrition, keep up with your training, and if you have any questions on either subject, please use the group.